guys, it is Mary.
And
Be about to like,
share,
subscribe,
and comment
down below, y'all. Because today we are going to be talking about the Gwen versus Paedon thing. There was apparently a clip that has been going around on TikTok.
Yeah.
I guess this was a clip from one of her new videos that she had posted on her Patreon account, kind of addressing
to what
Paedon said on that interview.
Yeah.
And there were some things that she said which were quite interesting. Basically, one, she said, I strongly encourage everybody not to listen to Paedon. And that really basically calling him a liar. Yeah. And then two, she said because of him, I am on medication, I am in therapy, I just have not been in a good place in my life. Yeah. She also said that
awful big brother.
He's an awful person and that there's no way for him to ever come back in her life. Like there's no path for him ever to come back into her life.
And he was the most violent
person she's ever met.
Yeah. And most violent person in their family.
Yes. And then I think she had also said, I can't remember, there was one more thing that she had also said. If I come to it, I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But
and then she was insinuating that he was lying, right? But she never really said
lying about
what it was. And I was wondering if she was trying to say the abuse, because that was like the main,
I mean, that's what really went viral.
So I was really wanting her to say, but she did say she had to talk to her mom. So I don't know if maybe this is a very, of course, I'm sure it's a very sensitive subject to the ones who were abused. And so maybe she just wants to kind of get her mom's view of, do you think I should talk about this? Is it okay for me to talk about it? And
well, also my
stuff
thing
like
is,
that.
what I was thinking, the reason
but then if she's not talking to most members of the family, is she going to ask Maddie to, you know what I'm saying? Like if you're saying this, if you're trying to say that this did not happen, did you run this by Maddie, since you're shunning most of your family, according to Paedon? Yeah. I don't know how true that is.
But my thing is, I also feel like, obviously, there is some truth to the allegation. Because if you know for sure that none of this ever happened and Paedon was just telling a blatant lie, then you really wouldn't need to go and discuss it with your mom, like, hey, mom, what's going on? Like, you would just be like, that's a lie. Like, that's straight up a lie. You can literally ask anybody in my family, they'll all tell you across the board it's a lie.
Her, like, instead of just saying, like, don't believe him or whatever, tell us what it is that you don't want us to believe him, because this is a very, huge allegation, right?
There's obviously truth to it,
and then I know there's truth. I mean, I actually feel there's truth to it. Just when you hear what Maddie said, I think anyone who has been abused or something has happened, it's really easy for someone who has been abused to be able to see if someone else is lying or not about their abuse.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just, I mean, do you guys find that to be the case?
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to tell someone who is lying about an abuse or telling the truth. You can certainly pick out someone who's telling the truth about an abuse.
Especially if you have been abused.
You just can. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's something that ties all people who have been abused together or something, but it's just something that you just know. And so for me, I know that Maddie was telling the truth.
I mean, me personally, I've never been abused in any way.
Yeah.
But I do believe Maddie, just based off of it just seemed really genuine and organic. I just didn't think that this was something that she would have just come out and lied about.
Absolutely.
I mean, with Paedon, I can't.
And then the thing is, you have to understand.
I mean, with
sometimes abusers may abuse, especially in a family, they may abuse one child and not the other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So not because, and I don't know, maybe she didn't go through it. Maybe Mary never abused her. That's why she's still in talk with Mary. But that does not mean that you just say, oh, it didn't happen to me. And a lot of times siblings do stuff like that. We'll say, well, really? Well, this parent never did that to me or whatever. Are you sure? And that is so foul. It's so wrong. And what happens when you do that, it really breaks that relationship, because all of a sudden you're not validating something that happened to me that was very traumatic.
Well, I'm sure the relationship was over when Paedon decided to put his big ass hands on her. Allegedly.
Right.
Allegedly.
And you know something?
My thing is with Paedon,
I wonder, I don't know if, I haven't looked at all the comments yet. I really wish someone will tell us. I thought I had heard it somewhere, and I don't remember where. And it was a while ago.
Many people in our comment section
that Paedon slapped Gwen, right?
Listen, many people in our comment section said that Paedon actually came out and admitted it and said that, I know what I did was wrong and I'm giving her time to heal. I saw at least 6 comments like that.
Okay,
so that part is true. So obviously Gwen he has admitted it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm still going to say allegedly because ain't nobody...
Because you have not seen it for yourself.
I've not seen the tape myself.
For yourself.
If somebody actually has the tape or whatever, or the interview,
when they both
please
said that, right?
Email it to us at the description link down below.
Right.
But yeah, my thing is with Paedon. When I was watching the whole interview thing, I definitely got, like, I won't say attention whore vibes, but I did get, like, somebody who is seeking attention. I definitely got those vibes. And, some things I do believe that some of the things that he said, I do believe. You know what I'm saying? But then there are some things where I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? But the whole thing with Mary, I do think that he was honest about that. He did say that after the very last show airs, he will talk about it.
Yeah.
I personally felt like he should not have said anything. Because my thing is, no matter what you say or do not say, people are going to talk about, because one, you guys are the siblings of these parents who went into this polygamous lifestyle.
So you felt like he should not have said anything about Mary?
I felt like if you weren't going to actually get into it, you should not have really said anything. Because my thing is, once you kind of leave that nugget there, people are going to be assuming all types of things.
But he
went and he was like, well, those words aren't harsh enough. They're not aggressive enough. They're not abrasive enough for all the things she did.
Right.
People immediately are going to go like, whoa.
Okay.
What?
Because they said to him, for me, it was a little different. I found Paedon to be authentic. I also find Gwen to be authentic.
I didn't think he was fake. I just felt like sometimes he said things for...
I felt like you had some attention. Yeah,
I feel like it's kind of attention seeking a little bit. Like some things he said or did.
Yeah.
Like even when he was like, I could tell you guys some things. Almost as if it's like he knows he's going to get a lot of attention for this.
Like you throw the hook.
Exactly. Like sometimes he will pause for them to say certain, for them to get a reaction.
For the effect.
Exactly. Yeah. And then also he said, people that I have told about this, they would be shocked. They were flabbergasted. Like,
yeah.
That,
well, I mean, to me, I felt him to be authentic. I felt him to be also like an actor, to have like acting skills.
Well, I know you were an actress, but he's not. He's in the army.
No. I know he's in the army, but what I'm saying is that, like actors do that a lot. Like you put a little thing out to kind of bring them in, or even storytellers do that as well. So,
but I think this is a serious allegation. This is not storytelling.
Well, no. I don't.
Somebody could go to jail.
I think that what he said about Mary, and I feel like he made it clear, and this is what he made clear to me. He made it clear that it wasn't just verbal abuse. He made it clear that it was more than verbal abuse. So that says to me it was also physical abuse right there. It's not emotional abuse. Also, it could be emotional abuse. But I felt like, and if it's emotional abuse, it goes on to like mind effing. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I felt. I felt like it was more than verbal because he said so. Because they said, oh, well, Mary, you say, well, she's just abrasive and rude. And he said, no, those are very minimal terms.
Yeah,
he says always abrasive and rude. That doesn't mean that they're abusive to you. They're abrasive and rude.
Yeah.
They're a little brusque in how they speak. Sometimes I can be very brusque in how I speak. But that doesn't mean that they're an abusive person. That's totally different. And that's what he's trying to say. She wasn't that she was being abrasive or rude. That's why those terms are too minimal of what she did. And if someone's being abusive, yes, calling them abrasive and rude, that doesn't mean that they're abusive. It doesn't mean they're abrasive and rude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I found him to be, I'm not going to say attention because I also feel in this family, and I think you said it,
they all have a need for attention because they did not get much of it in this family. That much is very clear.
It's a huge family. And then the other thing I feel like,
they also have daddy issues.
When you're young as well, you tend to speak in a way that as you get older, you might look at it and say, oh, this one just wants so much attention. It's a part of youth. That's how I feel. So that's why with them, I don't find it a bad thing. So that's why I don't say they're attention seeking, because I don't find it a bad thing. I find that all young people to some extent are attention seeking, and it's natural. It's natural because you're coming into your own. This is who you are. It's kind of like that butterfly that comes out from being a caterpillar. Dude, look at me, look at me, look at me. That's how I find young people, and that's for me. That's the beauty of young people, you know. And yes, I'm very happy to look at them because it's like, oh wow, look at them. They're so young. It reminds me of when I was young. Oh wow, she's so beautiful. He's so handsome. They're so articulate. They're so full of themselves. This is wonderful. I remember when I was that pompous. I don't find nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember some stories you told me, honey. But yes, so
Yeah.
that's what I felt with the whole thing. But you know, Paedon, I don't think he's the whole thing with the abuse and the violence. I feel, yeah, he was authentic and everything. I just felt like, I don't know, just the whole, like now I'm like,
And I am
this
happy.
was the whole attention
I am
thing.
happy that it came out.
Yeah.
And when I think about these children being unable to say anything for all these years, having to be around Mary and her drama and her little crying sessions, all these years.
She was so mad that she was not there for the
To
birth.
say anything.
Forced them to sit in a therapy session because they did not invite your raggedy ass to
Yeah.
the birth, knowing damn well why they didn't.
Now, you know, there was something that caught my eye, and I guess we'll talk about it when we talk about when, you know, when she reviewed her show, right? There was something that caught my ear. Mary said that she needed to kind of like make amends with some people in the family or something. She said so, but I'm gonna look at my notes when we talk about the review that Gwen did and of the next episode for season 17. I reviewed my notes so that I can say exactly what Mary said, and I wonder if that was like in that episode 17, because I totally missed it because I didn't know about the abusive stuff. So I totally missed it when she said she wanted to make amends. I was thinking, trying to make amends maybe with Janelle or Cody or something. That's what I was thinking. And maybe it was with the children, that she even said so in season 17.
Let's talk about Gwen and Paedon's relationship. Now, she said he's the most violent person she's ever met. Well, and then also he's the most violent person in the family. Now, I don't know if they had an ongoing relationship of him like physically abusing her, or if it was just that one time that he slapped her. Either way, it is wrong.
You see, once
for
he
Paedon,
slapped her the one time, anything
the
he
trust
does,
is
anytime
broken.
he like gets upset and has like a temper and whatever,
You get PTSD.
Exactly,
you get fearful.
exactly, because you know, like hitting someone on the arm is totally different. I feel like, but when you slap someone in the face, like Ayanna Van Sant said,
You stop them in their identity.
in their identity. If you slap someone in the face, you slap them in their identity, and it is. I think it's almost it's just as bad as spitting in someone's face. Also, it's like
Yeah.
it's just vile. It's vile, and it's the worst. It's just terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I see her having probably PTSD. But I wonder, like you said, was
wa-
there more?
Was it an ongoing thing, or if it was just one slap?
Yeah. And maybe that's
Regardless-
why she wants to talk to her mom, because she doesn't want her mom to feel like, oh, well, I wasn't a good mom if I let this continue or whatever. Or, by the end of the day, don't think about your mom. Think about your truth of what you want to say. Your mom will always be okay.
Me personally, I do feel, you know, it is sad and it's unfortunate, because my thing is,
It is.
Paedon's big ass is almost 7 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, he is almost 300 pounds as well.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if this happened when he was younger or whatever. Regardless, you are
Yeah.
much taller than Gwen. For you to
Taller,
take
yeah.
your big ass hands and
Yeah.
put it across your little sister's face
Yeah.
is disgusting.
It is
and it is
disgusting.
wrong.
It
if
is
this
wrong.
has happened allegedly, I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep on saying allegedly till the day I die.
It is wrong.
But I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's okay.
It's not okay.
Now, we were just having a discussion. Siblings do fight.
They do
This
fight.
was not to fight though. This
And they
was
fight
her.
physi-
This
and
was
they
her
fight
being
physically.
absolutely.
Sometimes.
I have
mean,
had my own fights with my own brother. You know,
Yeah.
but this was obviously not a fight. This was
Yeah.
a man slapping. This was a sibling slapping another sibling.
Yeah.
So it's not the same,
which is wrong.
which is wrong.
It is very, very wrong.
Yes.
We do not condone violence on this channel.
But we have all. She's had
I'm not
fights
gonna
with
say
her
but.
siblings.
That's a period after that.
Period.
We do not condone violence.
We do no.
And that's a period after that.
Yes.
Okay.
We don't condone
I
violence.
want to tell you, but my hope for Paedon and Gwen is that, and I hope that when I think of Christine, you know, it will break a mother's heart when two siblings that came from your womb, they don't get along.
And it's the only boy.
It will break my heart. Like I always say, if I die tomorrow, you guys stay close.
Yeah, you do.
Like that's the only way that you honor my
life,
my memory or whatever.
Yeah,
is by staying close. You know, it's like when you give birth to two children, you have a ready-made friend. You know, and this is coming from someone who has had so many issues with siblings. You know, like I'm sure they also have issues with me too. But like you know, I have a brother who has a temper, and when I think of Paedon, I wonder, you know, first of all, he grew very fast. And sometimes when you grow that fast, you are having, you know, probably you're taller than everyone, but you also feel awkward. More awkward than everyone because you're not on the same level. You really don't feel big and strong. You feel awkward. And then when you go to school, you also feel awkward. You know? And I wonder if that was at a time, I wonder how old he was. Was that at a time when, you know, and I'm not making any excuses for him, was that at a time when he did not understand? You know, girls, we have this, right? Boys don't have that. And what we teach our boys is you don't have this, but the equivalent of this is not physical. Someone does the, you know, like talks and curses you out, the equivalent is not to hit.
Yeah.
Because that's not the same. That's worse than all the verbal stuff, you know?
Right.
So, but that's something you have to teach boys, you know, because they're bigger and they're stronger. And sometimes boys will like have this temper and react in a physical way. And that's when you have to correct.
Right.
You know? So I'm trying to see everything in its perspective, but the person that happens to, all the perspective you have is that sting that's still on your cheek.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that horror, like, how dare you hit me above the neck?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I understand Gwen's side completely. And you said that he said, well, allegedly said that he will wait on her
to come to him or whatever, because he knows what he did was
wrong. The way you wait on that is not by saying what you said about Gwen in your interview, talking about she attention seeking, she biased,
and how she hates you because you're a white and you're a man.
Right.
Do I think
she probably hates you because you slapped her allegedly in the face.
But you didn't address that though.
Yes. And until you come back and probably grovel to her and say it with remorse that you totally understand what you did was wrong, until you do it with remorse, I don't think she will be
even blinking your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on. That is what's going on.
But I mean, the whole thing is just very unfortunate. But I do think, I hope that they're able to work it out.
Yeah,
if this was just a one-time thing, I hope they work it out. If this was an ongoing thing of him continuously putting his hands on her, then girl, I am right there with you. You are dead to me. Because you won't continue to put your hands on me. I'm not you. There's no, like she said, there's no path back into my life.
Where was Cody and Christine and everyone when this was going on? You know, that's the other thing I want to ask.
Well, also, you know, I just thought about this. Could Mary's alleged physical abuse had an effect on Paedon and what he saw and how to resolve conflict or whatever?
Yes.
Like, could that have?
We did see Cody's, I mean, maybe you call it subtle violence and how he
his microaggressions, his temper tantrums. Oh my God, yes. Like
I can, if he was doing that to his wives, I could only imagine how he was pulling up to his sons physically to show that his power.
Absolutely.
And when you do that,
we always talk about Cody being violent sometimes on the show.
What you're teaching your your boys is, I mean, there's a time and place for it. You know, like, let me give you all a story.
A time and place for what?
No. When, you know, sometimes fathers, when they're disciplining their sons especially, like they do it, like taking this physical stance in the son's face.
My thing
You
is,
know what I'm
seriously,
saying?
I feel like that's bullshit.
I always feel like, and I you know.
I feel like there's ways to talk to your sons.
There's a way to do it.
You can talk to your children.
But if you're only gonna do it like in that sense,
You're not
and
teaching
then
them anything.
you don't come back with the speaking one, you're not showing them how to like navigate and how to talk through things.
Yeah.
And all they know is that when they're in some kind of tension or conflict, to respond physically,
Right.
aggressively, you know. But yeah, there's a I think I said it all actually. I don't have to add to that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to say this.
What do you want?
So this is what I want to say, and in a sense, I'm giving this little story because I want to really give hope to Paedon and Gwen. I have a brother who has always had a temper since he was very young. He has always had a temper. He's very emotional, easy to cry, and when he was growing up, we always teased him. Always teased him because we know that he was going to be the first one to cry, and we found that funny. Really, it's not funny. But that's just how we were as siblings. So he was always reacting in this violent way. I remember one time, I don't even remember what I did. But he's the brother right after me. And we were young, and he grabbed me by my throat, and he seemed as though he wanted to choke me, you know. And my older brother, because I have an older brother, he grabbed him off of me, right? So what that said, I was like, okay, I see. Yeah, you're never going to grab my throat. And he tried that actually with 2 other people in the family. Now, he tried that with his younger brother, right? Because I have 2 younger brothers. And when that brother got older and learned his karate, one day when they were, you know, whatever, because his first thing was always to try to fight, he knocked him out cold. And he was unconscious. After that, he didn't put no more hands on the brother. So it was like, but I mean, they're friends. They're like this, you know. They just had to have an understanding, and that was boy to boy, right? So that's different between boy and girl. Now with me, that was the only incident I had with him that he physically touched me or I physically touched him, right? He, you know, but he will have these moments with his brothers because there are 3 brothers. My mom has 3 sons and 2 daughters. Now, I remember, you know, I was asking him to do something. My mom had, my sister was always very ill, and she was always in the hospital. So one time she had to come overseas for some surgery, and my mom was with her, so it was just me. My dad was working very much. And so I was responsible to cook everything for everybody and whatever. So I had told him, hey, look, you need to go up to, you know, up the hill, wherever, get some wood. We didn't have light at the time. I needed to cook, right? And then after that, I needed him to go and do the chores, which was cleaning the bathroom. It was my turn to clean the bathroom, but I'm like, you need to clean this bathroom for me because I gotta cook, right? And I have to take all these other duties that my mom used to do when she was here, because she's not here. So he's going like this and talking and, okay. And he also has this mouth on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he's talking and I'm like, so I just got annoyed because he continued to talk and, you know, he'll pass me at the kitchen mumbling and I'm like, what did you say? And he's like, nothing. But then I hear some curse word and I just took this frying pan. I mean, I didn't even realize I had a frying pan. So he had gone to the hallway, and we had this long hallway, and he had like these louvers, like glass louvers. And I'm like, what did you say? He turns around, wants to say something. I just take this frying pan, I just hit him across the head, and he falls on this whole glass louver. It really wasn't funny. And he was out cold.
She's told me the story 10 times before, and it's so funny each time.
But I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
Just imagining, like, you take the frying pan and he just swings some of the glass
Yeah,
louvers
and that's what
and
happened.
then falls down.
Anyhow, I'm
We
not
joking,
saying it,
though,
but what I'm
listen,
saying
I don't
is
know
that
why it's
these
funny.
things happened, and I was like, I was like, wait, I hope I didn't kill him, right? And so then he came to, and he was like, I said, oh, are you okay? And he's like, what? He said, did you hit me with that? I was like, just get up and finish clear the bathroom. And he's like, okay. So that was it. We cleaned the glass, whatever. He came back to the kitchen. He's like, I'm going to clean that glass. Well, I was like, oh, okay, thank you. And that was it, right? So those were the two occasions that he and then we were like teenagers when the frying pan incident happened. When we were younger, I think we were preteen, right?
Oh my God.
But we are still, he's my favorite brother. You know what I'm saying? And what that taught to me, though, it taught to me that even though I used to always say that he had a temper, what I learned is that actually I think I also have a temper. Not even I think, I know. So because I know that and it can get out of control, I had to, start like, I need to master this. I can't just pick something, right, and lose my mind, right? So, and I'm telling this story, I'm sure you guys will be looking at me as like, oh my God, am I so violent?
This is what happened when you were a teenager or even younger?
Well, I mean, what I'm saying though, okay, and I've had moments, certainly not against my kids, but I've had moments as an adult where, you're going through something or you're in a relationship or whatever, but certainly no frying pan incident. But what I'm saying is that none of us are perfect, right? Nobody's perfect. And we're certainly not perfect when we are growing up into adulthood. And so I'm just saying that to both Gwen and Paedon. Like, I am even surprised that all of us in the family, like all my siblings, we still talk to each other, right? Because we've been through some stuff, okay? And I just, sometimes when you're young, when you're in your 20s, you feel like this is it, this is all, like, I'm never talking to this person ever again. My hope is that there will be forgiveness, because that's what it takes, really. It takes, like forgiveness, someone saying I'm sorry, that kind of thing. And so that's my hope. Because having siblings, like, we have had the worst of time, but my God, we have had the best of times, and Mary laughing, I'm sure it's indicative of the fact that when you see this brother and myself now, like, we will squabble and then we make up. It's kind of like, he used to always throw anyone who comes into the family, like a spouse or something, he always throws them off because it's like, what's going on with you all? But it's such a
he's
beautiful
my uncle
relationship.
Yeah.
It really is, and it's worth working on. If that means both of you need to go to counseling, maybe him hearing how it really impacted you and how much it hurt, it helps him to see
the errors,
It helps him to see, and the least it will do also is make him understand this is a line you can never cross with a woman. Yeah. So I just hope and pray. And Paedon, your mouth going like that in an interview about her. At this point,
Yeah, they're just not talking about her.
you should not mention Gwen.
And then also, do not
You
sit
should not
here and
mention
say
Gwen
that it's
because
because
it
you're
shows-
white and you are a male. That's why she hates you.
Yeah.
That's probably not the truth.
She hates you because you used your male strength
Yeah,
to slap her.
that's hard.
And if you're trying,
Allegedly.
and if you,
Allegedly.
you know, insinuate, you know, she's maybe doing the queer thing for attention. Well, you know something, Paedon? Maybe she doesn't want men because of what you did to her. How about that? Why don't you take ownership of that? But and that's why I was saying in
Then
this
you see the
interview,
no good daddy. You see how he acted.
this interview that he did for 4 hours, I just wish the question was asked about the whole slapping thing.
But they didn't. I feel like they didn't because they want him to feel comfortable.
But I
But
wonder
I feel
if
like
they asked
as a
him.
good interviewer, you should have asked the question.
But I wonder if they asked him, hey, can we ask about slapping? He said no. We're not going to talk about that or something.
Maybe. Who knows?
But I just wish they had, because I would have wanted to hear it
Yeah.
as opposed to hear it via a subscriber, because that's why everything is still allegedly.
Y'all, please send us the
But yeah.
video. We will
Yeah.
shout you
I
out
mean,
from the channel.
sibling relationships is so important. I really wish they forgive each other and move on, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all I had to say about that.
Yes. But it's Mary.
And
We invite you to like,
share,
subscribe.
and comment
Down below.
Let us know about, you know, you and your siblings.
Have you
stuff.
had a fight with a sibling? And if
Yeah.
you want to share the story down below.
Was he, how bad was it? And are you all talking now? And how did you get over it, right?
I mean, because
Yeah.
I've had fights with my own brother.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they have gotten a little too far sometimes, but
Yeah.
we still talk to each other. We still communicate. And he knows I'm
Yeah.
always there for him. He always knows that. I know that he's always there
And
for
you
me.
guys say sorry. That's the thing.
We always do
and
say
that's the
sorry.
one thing I always tell them. I always push. You must apologize, and there's a reason why.
Yeah.
You apologize not to just show remorse to the other person.
Yeah.
You apologize verbally and loudly so that you tell yourself
Yeah.
that this is inappropriate.
Yeah.
So you're reminding your mind that this was not appropriate for me to do.
Yeah.
You know, so
But siblings fight, you know, I feel like
Siblings
it's
fight.
a little normal. As warped
Yeah.
as that may sound, it's a little
not
normal.
the slapping in the face. Not the slapping in the
That's
face.
the worst. I think that.
Certainly
Yeah.
not the trying to strangle somebody.
Yeah.
That's not normal. But, you know,
Or-
he always felt that, because I asked him one day, I said, why do you do this? And he said, because I always feel like I'm not really a fighter. If I just grab them by the throat, then they're not going to be able to really get me before they can get me, right? But do you
Oh.
understand that this can lead to death? Oh, you know, I do understand now. Yeah, I shouldn't be doing that. Exactly. So you can end up in jail.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just
Communication.
It's communication. It's
Yes.
communication even when it's tough. You know,
Yeah.
communication even when it's tough. You know, and if it doesn't work, if your verbal apology doesn't work, you can write a letter.
Yeah.
You can write a letter. You can reach out that way too.
Yeah. Peace out, y'all. Thanks for watching.